one of the themes that you've been saying in this conversation and through many conversations is that it is time for Israel, for the Jewish people, to really go full throttle, both in terms of governmental policy. You should have a quick, comprehensive war, end it quickly. We need to get serious about a radical solution for the whole Palestinian issue, dealing with our enemies, but also at a Torah level, at a grassroots level, we as Jews need to, and a governmental level too, need to start articulating and living our Torah values, and that being the justification for why we are there in the land. But my question for you is, what if the people aren't ready for that? If you and I and others, I start saying this is what we need to be saying, and I start, when I'm speaking to people with different points of view, articulating this to them and saying this is who we are. But if the people aren't ready to be that or to do that, and if that doesn't match up with what's happening, which I think frustrates quite a lot of non-Jews, they see all kinds of contradictions in Israel's government and this policy. Is that not potentially a bit of a risk? And one particular example I saw that was quite interesting, a rabbi shared with me, it was the story of King Yoshiyahu, King Joshua, who the Egyptians asked to come pass through the land to go and fight the Babylonians, I think, and he refused to let them through, even though they weren't going to cause any harm to Israel necessarily, based on the pasuk, and I will give peace in the land, and a sword will not pass through your land. And he should have. We learned that from Chazal, he should have consulted the prophet Jeremiah, but he decided that this verse is saying that you have to, you shouldn't let a foreign nation pass through the land. And the people that he had brought this whole teshuvah movement, this repentance movement among the people of Israel, and he thought that they would be worthy of protection. Of course, they weren't, and so it led to death and destruction. And so the point that this rabbi was trying to make to me was that if you try to enact these policies and go full throttle in doing what, let's say, Torah asks, and by the way, it's unclear if this pasuk is what Torah asks or it's just some kind of conditional blessing, but whatever. He was saying the message that we kind of take from this is you can't do something if the people aren't ready for it. And if they're not ready for it, can't be counting on miracles. You've just got to do what is a sensible hishtadlut based on the inconvenient truths of the situation you're in. So wanted to throw that to you and get your thoughts on that.
Well, I'm just off the top of my head. There's no commandment, do not allow a sword to pass through your country. It's a prophecy that peace will come to the land, and it'll be such a thorough peace that there won't even be a sword passing through. So it's not a commandment, don't allow it. It's a promise of when peace comes, it will be a complete, total peace. You won't see a sword even passing through. But I think things are a little too vague. Jews should be better Jews. Can anybody disagree with that? The question is, what's a better Jew? Do I have to become a full-fledged Orthodox practicing frum individual? Is that what you're asking me to do? I'm not ready to do that. You want me to keep Shabbos? I can stop shopping on Shabbos. Good. Do that. A new year is coming. It's almost Rosh Hashanah. We're supposed to be making good resolutions. If you want to make the resolution that on Shabbos you will not be shopping, because you can always do that during the week, that would be great. So it's not become religious. It's do a mitzvah. And there's a big selection. Choose your mitzvah. One mitzvah will lead to another mitzvah eventually, and it grows. It's alive. It's a living thing. But when you come and say, oh, no, no, you have to be religious, it's not realistic. It's not appealing. It's not doable. But a mitzvah, everyone should take on one more mitzvah, which would make the world to that degree more holy.
But what I'm saying is, this rabbi said to me, it was a different rabbi actually, who said to me, it's you can't justify and call for Israel's actions and justify Israel based on religious Judaism and Jewish principles if they're being governed by liberal democratic means, because then people, especially non-Jews, will just see this inherent contradiction. So again, it goes back to that question of, if we're not ready yet to do that, can we really speak of it and justify it in those terms?
Even politically, we're not asking the leaders to become Orthodox Jews, whatever that means. We're saying, in your predicament, you can either continue the secular path or you can do it Jewishly.
Hmm.
Whether you're going to keep Shabbos in your own home, that's your decision. But you have an opportunity here to do something different that may work, because what you're doing is not working.
Hmm.
So it's not even preaching observance. It's saying the most sensible, most appropriate thing to do right now is to try the Jewish way. You've tried it the secular way.
Hmm.
You've been worshiping the Oslo agreements or the Geneva Conference. Maybe stop worshiping them and try something Jewish.
And do you think non-Jews can hear a Jewish biblical argument for Israel and understand the fact that that is the truth, even if some of Israel's leaders might not always lean into that? Are they mature enough to hear that?
Yeah. Because every time we tried it, it was fantastically successful in public opinion.
Hmm.
The 6 Day War, no one condemned it. No one. The raid on Entebbe violated all sorts of international law. No one said a negative word.
Apart from the UN.
Well, eventually, everything, right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I feel like one of the messages I've really taken from today is we don't need perfection in order to just start speaking truth, doing truth, and trying to be this role model. We don't need to be perfect.
That's right. In every issue individually, find the Jewish response, which means the truth. Try it.
Mm.
Nothing terrible happened when they moved the embassy to Jerusalem, proclaiming to the world that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, which is true. Truth has never hurt anybody. But it can fix everything. So every Jew should make a resolution before Rosh Hashanah. You have the options: Shabbos candles, kosher. And kosher doesn't mean rip up your kitchen and go radical on it. It means stop eating certain foods one at a time. Like give up seafood, give up the shrimp. Do it because you're Jewish. Anything you do purely because you're Jewish makes you infinitely stronger. You fit into your identity. That's powerful. So let's live out who we are. We don't really have a choice.
We don't. Rabbi Friedman, thank you so much. This message is so important. And as the world's magnifying glass continues to be on Israel, it just becomes all the more urgent for everyone to hear. So thank you so much as always for your time and insights and guidance to me personally, as well as to all our viewers. Before we finish, I just want to share with you something really important. We are told that Israel's actions are the cause of the Israeli-Arab conflict, but we've just released a groundbreaking documentary proving that Arab Islamic Jew hatred far predates Israel's re-establishment. This is a critical fact that everyone needs to learn about. Have a watch of our trailer for our new JTV Plus documentary entitled Arab Anti-Semitism Before Israel's Re-Establishment. Picture yourself, it's 1834 and you're a Jew living in Tzfat, which is a northern city in Israel, then under the Ottoman Empire. Your family is part of this ancient city's spiritual heart for generations. You study Torah, you trade in the market, and live quietly among your Arab neighbours. But one day, a mob storms your street, shouting, "Kill the Jews!" Your home is looted, your synagogue burned, your loved ones beaten. This isn't about Israel. Israel won't exist for 114 years. This isn't about settlements, the IDF, or the 1948 displacements. This is raw, violent hatred aimed at you for being a Jew. And it's not just in Palestine, it's part of a centuries-old story of anti-Semitism woven into Arab and Islamic history, from the dawn of Islam to the streets of Hebron. The claim that this conflict began with Israel's creation, the Nakba, or modern policies, is a farce, a distortion that collapses under history's magnifying glass. Welcome to JTV Plus. I'm Ollie Annersfeld, and today we're uncovering a history too often buried, the relentless anti-Semitism among Arabs in Palestine before 1948, rooted in a broader Arab and Muslim hostility that began with Islam's inception in the 7th century. To watch this JTV Plus documentary and access much more premium content, click on the link in the video description.